So it's not just abortion that Dr. Oz is certainly not a conservative. What's more troubling is his position on transgender transitions of children.
This show is going to be controversial for a lot of people, challenging your beliefs about what it means to be male or female. The word you'll hear today is transgender. Transgender. It describes people whose sex on the outside doesn't match who they are on the inside. Now imagine your child is transgender. What would you do? Our lives as parents are first defined by the words, it's a girl or it's a boy. Could you make a decision to let your child live as the other sex, even alter their body? It's an area of intense debate. Today you'll meet families coping with this astonishing reality.
What does it mean to be a boy? What does it mean to be a girl? Those two simple questions are infinitely complex and gut-wrenching for parents of children who are born transgender. Transgender shakes up all of our ideas about what makes us male or female. Does gender come from our anatomy or from our thoughts and feelings? While science looks for answers, what are parents of transgender children to do? More and more parents, like Josie's, are allowing their children to live as the opposite sex. In some cases, they're going as far as providing hormone blockers to prevent the onset of puberty, to buy their children more time to figure out the next step. Others heed the warning of psychiatrists who caution that children who may be transgender don't always grow up to be transgender adults. There's no easy answer. With science and psychology only starting to explore this complex subject, what's the right way to nurture a transgender child?
And when did you recognize that Josie was transgender?
It was during a regular well baby exam. The pediatrician was looking at her. He got really quiet and just sort of watched her for a while. And he brought up a term, gender identity disorder. Excuse me, what's that? He said, you know, like transgender. I was like, could you spell that for me? I had no idea what he was saying.
That's when you learned about it.
That is.
How are you, Josie?
Good.
She has a lot of spark to her, I gotta say.
She does indeed.
Do you remember when your parents thought you were a boy?
A little bit.
Talk to me about that a little bit. What do you remember?
Like, how did it make you feel when I used to take you and get your hair cut off at the barber shop on base?
It made me very angry.
You did not like your haircut. Why not?
Because I'm a girl, not a boy.
Yeah.
When I first saw this video, I was so horrified, and we'll get to the Dr. Oz part of this for a second, but I was so horrified because this is what I've been warning about when I've been talking about pediatricians being corrupted by ideological interests and ideological agenda and financial conflict of interest. Because did you hear what this mother said? This mother actually said her pediatrician suggested this during a well baby visit, a regular well baby visit. That means a child under 2 years old. A pediatrician looks at this mother and suggests that her baby is transgender. I mean, talk about groomer pediatrician, grooming a parent into being a groomer parent. It's so sad. It's so awful. And the mother just listened to the pediatrician, becomes a groomer parent. When the child is asked, do you remember when you were a boy or when your parents thought you were a boy? This child looked at his mother and his mother fed him what to say. His mother said, yeah, we transitioned you because you didn't like getting your hair cut. What little boy likes getting their hair cut? You have ruined your child's life. You have mutilated their body. You have psychologically abused them. You've denied them their God-ordained destiny based on A, normal behavior for a little child, and B, a groomer pediatrician. This broke my heart. And what was worse, and this is how it ties into Dr. Oz, obviously, is he calls this child by female pronouns, not by male pronouns, and just asks the question, do you remember when your parents thought you were a boy? This is validating behavior. This is not the question of someone who is concerned about the well-being of this child. This is not the question of someone who thinks that this is child abuse. This is the question of someone who's okay with the transition, the gender transition of children. And this episode aired a long time ago. This was not recent. He called it cutting-edge surgery. He made a scientifically, medically incorrect statement or comment about hormone therapy stopping puberty and being reversible and not harming, and none of that is true. This is so deeply troubling, what we hear from Dr. Oz, especially when the transgender ideology is the culture war of this year. It is the cultural battle that is being fought right now. And this man wants to go to the United States Senate, and he wants our confidence that he will fight this battle. Why on earth would we have that confidence? Because his track record and his history shows that he's been supportive of transgender transitions for little children. He's validated them and supported them and indulged this delusion even when little children's bodies and minds have been abused in the process. This is so abhorrent to me, so abhorrent. This is absolutely disqualifying for any candidate who wants to be a United States Senator, but certainly for someone who's running as a Republican.